Hello everyone. So you just saw me transplanted one of the Gauras. It was the white Gaura. It's kind of finicky just based on my experience, and the reason is just because it has a tap root, and I never realized it before until last year, and that's when I was like, I think it has a tap root, and that's why it's been harder for me to maintain it once it has been transplanted. So I have been growing Gaura for like 4 or 5 years now, and it just took me last year to find out. And I think mostly it's because I just have so many plants to take care of, and I just never really like monitor it closely to find out what kind of root system it has. All I knew was that it was kind of harder for me to transplant it whenever I needed to transplant it. It was always be 50% rate that I would be able to get it to come to be alive once it's been transplanted. So this year I transplanted several Gauras and they have done really well. I was able to give some away. So today I wanted to share with you some tips that I learned from transplanting these Gauras. Let's give you an overview of this space with the Gauras. So some of the Gauras were transplanted here from another spot of the garden in 2021, fall of 2021 if I remember correctly. Now some of the ones that you see here, they were actually from seeds as well. So a combination of Gauras coming up from seeds and some that were transplanted here in the fall of 2021. Now these two here, they were transplanted just from, I believe they didn't move far from the same garden area. I believe they were around that general area right there, and decided to transplant them here because I wanted an alley right here of Gauras. So wanted Gauras here and Gauras over here. You want to dig the hole like deeper than the whole length of the taproot of the Gaura. So that's the first thing, because the taproot, it needs some place to move down. So having it having it dug up deeper, that will help it to, establish itself a lot easier and perhaps a lot faster as well. You want to monitor it and water it in for at least, I would say at least 7 to 14 days, depending on, whether you're getting natural rain or not. If not, I would say make sure that you're going to be around to water it on a regular basis for the next 7 to 14 days, and keep monitoring to see if you notice any dieback. There should be some dieback. It's just expected based on the Gauras that I have here, based on my experience. Just expect some stems to die back on you because the roots are being established at that time. Let me show you. So you can see that there are some dieback. That's because some of the stems died off due to the shock or due to the stress of the transplant. Because they have tap roots, they require more time for the tap roots to be established. And sometimes when that happens, some of the stems would die off. The next tip is when to transplant. I would say early spring or sometime in the fall, because the weather is not too hot. It's not going to be stressing out your plant as much, and it's going to be easier on you as far as watering goes, because it's not going to be so hot that you would have to water every day. Maybe it could be once every other day when it's earlier in the spring, except maybe when you are in our climate here, at least for this year in the spring, I noticed. So even though I transplanted the Gaura or these Gauras in the spring, I think it was sometimes in March. To me, that's considered early spring. And the weather here has been so sporadic. It'll be so hot and then it'll be rainy and then a little bit of cold. So it was just a mixture of everything. But this area would get a lot of heat, and even then I still came out here and tried to water it every day. Now, sometimes I may have missed a day, or it could be raining. But I did try to come and monitor it on a regular basis, so that I knew that it was doing well. If you can get your one Gaura plant to do well, for the whole season, that means that by next season, sometime in the spring, you're going to see baby seedlings coming up. So that's a nice thing about the white Gaura. Now, unfortunately, with the pink Gaura, it doesn't reseed very easily for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. So to me, the pink Gauras are more special in this garden. And so far this year, I have 3. So one of the pink ones did not make it through winter, unfortunately, but it did give one baby plant. So let me show you all the pink Gauras that are here. All right, so here's the baby pink Gaura that is somewhat mature now, but it's still little. And the reason that it is because it's not getting the sunlight that it needs, because it's underneath this rosemary. And this was the one that did not make it out of winter. This was the pink. It was nice and big, never made it out alive. So that was the baby that it gave. So happy about that one. So let me go ahead and show you 2 more. All right, so this is the biggest pink Gaura this year. And guess what? It is at the Berm Garden. So I knew that pink Gauras were harder to plant, let alone transplant. So I was taking a huge risk by planting it here or transplanting it here. And I'm so glad that it is doing beautifully even on this berm. I knew that once it was able to establish its root, it would be touching good soil down there. So anyway, so glad that this one is going to make it, and it might reseed itself. So I would think, hoping at least one, because as mentioned, they don't reseed very well. And here is another one that was transplanted as well. And this one is not as big, but still doing beautifully. And I'm so happy that I have 3 pink ones this year. Because there are only 3 pink ones, I don't want to risk transplanting that one that's under the rosemary, because it is getting warmer and warmer, and we're heading into the summer, of course. So might transplant that during the fall and just take a risk and see what happens. Or I could see how well it'll do sometime in the spring, and then I could transplant it then. So we'll see. Maybe having the rosemary there, it will be a good protection for it during the winter. So maybe that is maybe that's a lucky thing that it's right there instead of out by itself. So yes, now that I think about it, I think I should transplant that during next spring instead of, you know, doing it in the fall and have it be by itself. All right, so here's a thing that I also wanted to mention. So all of the Gauras that were transplanted in the ground, they had at least several stems. So as you can see, there's only one stem right here. So I am taking a huge risk, and I ran out of fertilizer, or, you know, like starter fertilizer. But I use what I have. I used compost. So I'm thinking that by mixing the compost with the native soil, it should provide it with some nutrients for some root growth. And as you saw, I made sure that it was dug deep, and I made sure that it had plenty of room all around as well. So because this is a white Gaura, I have had more success with it, and then also there are so many white Gauras here. So even if this one doesn't make it, I'll have other ones to transplant here when, of course, when they have more than one stem to transplant. So this is a good experiment to see if I can take care of this white Gaura with only one stem with summer approaching. So we'll definitely give you an update on how this will do. So if you have been growing Gaura for a while now and you have some good tips for us, please write in the comment section down below. And if you're new to gardening or new to growing Gaura, I hope this video has helped you. If you want to transplant your Gaura and you have never transplanted Gaura before, I would say if you are in the south like I am here, when we're going to be approaching summer, it's going to get a lot more hot. I would say wait until the fall to transplant, or just wait until the following early spring. But if you want to challenge yourself and transplant it, now you can, because it's still in the spring, but if it's in the summer, I would not recommend it at all. Make sure that you follow the tips that were mentioned, and I think you should be fine. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video, and again, I hope you found this video enjoyable and helpful, and until the next one, take care and bye for now. Well, thank you again for watching the video. If you would like to support my channel, please subscribe and watch some of the other videos. The video links are up above for you. So with that, thank you so much in advance. Take care and bye for now.